Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Haven't done these for a few weeks. I've been a bit under the weather. As you know, I am Robert, the hairy old fat guy, as seen on Spine Ticks. Got my hat, so we're good. Okay, today we are going to discuss two very key issues for ROM Space Knight. Well, for ROM, they're keys. Everybody else be minor keys. We are looking at issues number 17 and number 18. Two issues with, as you can see on the cover, the X-Men. So, without further ado, it's been a few months since Rom has come to Earth. He's winning over the hearts and minds of the fair people of the town of Clariton, West Virginia, who we'll be seeing here a little bit here, not too much. We open up on a nice splash page of the X-Men in the danger room. Okay, they're going through their drills, training, doing what they do in the danger room, when they get an alarm bell sounding from Cerebro saying that there is a mutant, a new mutant, detected. And very powerful, not knowing who it is or what it is. Of course, the X-Men's job is to go and find out what's going on, good, bad, or whatever. Okay, so we switch now to outside of Clariton, West Virginia. It is winter time, major snowstorms. We find a doctor going to visit a patient doing house calls. Hey, he does house calls. He goes to see a person who is supposed to be 38 years old, and she looks to be like she's about 138. You see her right here. Okay, get a good picture of her. Try to. Anyway, there you go. She was aged quite a bit over the years in a short period of time. Well, we find out that her name is Marjorie Jacobs, that her husband is a dire wraith. Has been for as long as he's been here, but he fell in love with her, and when he arrived here on Earth, he was separated from his main group, and he, like I said, he fell in love with an Earth woman, decided to become a human as much as possible, even as far as having a child. That will bear with the story later on. Okay, so now we pick up in Clariton, where the county coroner, comes in and blah blah blah, a bunch of BS about the people that all died by the hands of this evil alien robot, and saying something is very fishy, very strange about it. They introduce him to Rom. Of course, he freaks out like everybody does, but realizes, okay, these all his friends say he's good, so we're going to stick with it. We go to find out that all the people that have died by the hands of Rom were all born on the exact same day. That day was November 9th, 1945. Very, very strange coincidence. While going through the records, we find out that there is still one person in Clariton with that birth date still alive. So, Rom, of course, goes to investigate. And that one person is Jacob Marks. He is the Wraith turned human. That would be this guy right here. He's here somewhere. No, this guy. No. This guy right here. Jacob Marks. Anyway, he's the Wraith that turned human and wanted to be human. So they go over the story of how he met his wife, how he decided to stay on Earth, and how he fell in love, and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, a bunch of, it's the 70s, early 80s, so a lot of exposition. Alrighty. So, when Jimmy, fast forward now to not too long ago, according to this, Jimmy is now 15 years old, their son. The dire wraith elders finally come in, and they find him, and get all pissed off at Jacob Marks, the father. So they need to talk to him. They need to see what's going on. They go and talk to him and all that, and discover that this kid is extremely powerful, and they bring him into the dire wraith frame of mind. Well, Jimmy's having way too much fun with it. He's always been a bit of a loner, and he starts killing off all the farm animals. Then he decides he doesn't need his human mother and his dire wraith father. His father is a traitor, and blah blah so forth. Okay, so now we're all caught up to present day. Enter Rom and the dire wraith. Jacob Marks has already told Rom that he is a dire wraith, but he loves his wife and he loves his son, but he's afraid of his son. His son has become something that he cannot control anymore. Jimmy is upset that his elders, friends, don't come by anymore, and we find out during those expositions that Rom killed him or banished him. Anyway, so Jimmy shows his true form, hybrid. That is one ugly kid. So even terrifies Rom a bit. So exposition, battle ensues, house pretty much getting torn up. In the meantime, the father, trying to get rid of his son, goes after him with a pitchfork, and of course the father gets it on his own. Pitchfork through the chest. Yeah, real disturbing. Anyway, more battle pursuit goes on. A lot of battling. House eventually getting destroyed. All this going on. Rom finally gets his neutralizer out to banish this hybrid to Limbo. It doesn't work. Just will not work. You won't banish him because he's part human, and so therefore it doesn't work on him. So still more battle. House really gets destroyed, and then enter the X-Men. Last page. Alrighty, so quick recap of 17. Here we go with number 18. You just saw the end page for that one. Here's the splash page for 18. Pretty much the last page of 17 was from Rob's point of view. This page is from the X-Men's point of view. Now, as you can see here at the bottom, Jimmy has reverted back to human form almost instantaneously, since the X-Men didn't notice it. So they think they're there to protect him, and they think Rom is an evil mutant in armor. Okay. So, a few pages of exposition going over what happened last issue. Okay, then the X-Men attack. First one attacks is Nightcrawler. Wolverine, of course, gets mad because he wanted a piece of him. Storm is up in the air because all of a sudden the winter storm that was going about increased 10, 20-fold, whatever. Really increased. Wolverine finally gets his claws out, attacks Rom. Does Rom no damage to the actual armor, but it does. Rom feels the pain from his claws, and definitely I got to avoid this one. The whole time they're battling, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine, Kitty Pryde is protecting Jimmy Marks, hybrid. So we keep going on for a while. More battles. Storm sensing something strange, since it's her powers, but it's not. It's something else is going on. Colossus attacks Rom. Rom easily, one punch, sends him flying. The blizzard keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So Rom finally breaks free from fighting of the X-Men, and he tries to get back to hybrid, where he sees Kitty protecting him. She doesn't know it. He, in the background, has reverted to hybrid, although you can't really see. She can't tell. Nobody can really tell because of the blizzard going on. So, yada yada yada. A little more exposition. Kitty turns and sees hybrid in his true form. He is decided that he wants to rule the earth over his Wraith brothers and sisters and over all the humans, since he is more powerful than both. And he decided, well, he's going to mate with humans to create more of himself, or more creatures like him. And the first one he wants to mate with is with Kitty Pryde, of course. So, Rom's freaked out, Kitty's freaked out. Kitty, running away from hybrid, phases through Rom. Well, screws Rom up. Nauseated. He can't throw up literally, but he feels like he has to, sort of short circuits him a little bit. She manages to get away. The X-Men then get together and, okay, we gotta find her and all that. Storm's still up there trying to battle the weather. The X-Men are wondering why Storm is creating all this weather. They're battling. They're making it harder for them to battle, where she does. Of course, that's all exposition. And Rom and Hybrid start doing some talking, some more fighting, back and forth, until, let's see, I can't get these pages turned. Rom summons his neutralizer again. This time he sets it to kill. Rom's not big on killing, but he will if he absolutely has to. In the meantime, Colossus comes in and attacks Rom, misses Rom, hits Hybrid. As soon as Colossus touches Hybrid, Hybrid changes Colossus back to his human form. And right immediately after changing him back to human form, starts to asphyxiate him, choking him. So Nightcrawler's choking to death. Not Nightcrawler. Colossus is choking. Nightcrawler disengages from the battle to save his friend by giving him mouth to mouth and all that stuff to keep him alive. Enter Wolverine, but he's sensing something's not right. Wolverine is going, he smells the evil, but it's not coming from the robot, it's coming from somewhere else. He hasn't figured out where it's coming from, but of course it's Wolverine, so he's, claws out, ready to battle. So he starts going after Rom again. Kitty sees what he's doing, tries to, yell at him, can't, of course nobody hears her. So she bumps back, she runs into Hybrid again. While she runs, tries to hide, she gets behind a snowmobile that was left out in the, conveniently left there. Hybrid picks it up telepathically, throws it at her, disassembling it as it goes. It's because it's so cold, some parts are phasing through her, some parts are not. So, enter big engine block. She finally gets able to phase through that and escaping all these small parts and all that. She backs up, bumps into Wolverine, distracts him. Rom gets a good punch in him. Okay, Wolverine is down. Well, knocked for a loop, I should say. Rom then again materializes his neutralizer again, wanting to kill Hybrid. Hybrid manages to disarm Rom, knock it out of his hand. Wolverine realizes that, Rom's a good guy. Hybrid, finally gets a look at Hybrid and go, oh my god, this is what I've been smelling. This is the evil that I've been sensing. Wolverine goes after Rom's neutralizer, tries to fire it, and it pretty much does a feedback on him, knocks Wolverine for a loop. Practically almost kills him. If it wasn't for his adamantium bones, he would have crushed all his bones in his body. Well, Rom, Hybrid, still battling. Kitty decides to try the neutralizer herself, even after seeing what it did to Wolverine. Well, she manages to fire it. Of course, it confuses everybody, but she keeps going at it. Rom realizes it must be because of her phasing ability. She can, operate the neutralizer. Well, he talks to her, yells at her, screams or whatever, to be heard, how to adjust the settings through her powers, and she manages to do that. She manages to catch Hybrid in a full powered beam. It's a combination of killing them and having it on limbo setting, having both on to kill and putting them in limbo. I can't think of the word. Anyway, so in the process, during the battle, Rom gets caught up in the neutralizer's beam. Hybrid is presumed to be torn apart and killed, whereas Rom gets banished to limbo. And as soon as Rom has disappeared, the neutralizer flies out of, or for whatever reason, Kitty drops it. The storm, the weather stops, the blizzard stops, Storm comes back down, realizes, okay, everything's good. Peter's better, Klaus is better, Nightcrawler's there, of course, was helping. Then they said, it was the kid that was the mutant, but we destroyed him, and they went about their business, going about doing nothing. And they leave, as you can see in that last panel, right down here. They leave Rom's neutralizer in the snow. Okay, so that is basically what happened in ROMs 17 and 18. I wanted to do these. The next ones I'm going to do will be ROM 31 and 32, which is the second and third appearance of Rogue. So that's a very important story for Rogue in these two issues. So anyway, a little longer than I expected. You all have a good day. Enjoy your comics, as I always like to say, and I will see you guys all later. Okay, bye-bye.